We'll go back to the phone lines. Talk to Lewis. He's listening in Jersey City, New Jersey. Hi, Lewis.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Thank you for all you've been doing. 2 days ago, I got into a conversation with someone in my class. I was doing the principles of biology class at college, and we got into a discussion regarding, through a game actually, Fallout 4, into absolute truths. And he kept on, it seems he was giving a skeptic answer. I wanted to ask you how to stop someone going to loops of saying, I don't know, and to actually trying to talk to them about absolute truths.
That's a very essential issue, isn't it? Because today truth is no longer regarded as absolute. It becomes relativized. And if that is true, truth is now determined by the size and the scope of the latest lobby group. And with no enduring reference point, societal norms are quickly reduced to mere matters of preference. And this is the issue that Christianity is harping on. The fact that there is a North Star. There is a lawgiver. And that lawgiver is also our designer. And to violate his commands, his truth, is kind of like trying to violate the law of gravity by standing on the Eiffel Tower and jumping and saying, I am dismissing for the next 30 seconds the law of gravity. Well, the only thing you're really dismissing is your own life. When you make truth a casualty in a culture, you end up with chaos. And that is precisely what is happening today. And with respect to Christianity, it is not true because it works. That's pragmatism. It's not true because it feels right. That's subjectivism. It's not true because it's my truth. That becomes relativism. Truth is true because it's anchored in the person and work of Jesus Christ, who is God, who is the North Star, who has set parameters around our lives so that our joy might be complete. So Christ is never a cosmic killjoy because he ushers in truth. He's one who allows us to experience life as it is intended to be experienced.
What type of approach should I give him? Because I'm pretty sure he might approach me today. How should I approach him and actually most likely get him to at least kind of choke and admit it, or catch him in the middle of his inconsistency? Because honestly, I think he was actually avoiding on purpose to actually confess that he's wrong.
Yeah, well, truth is anything that corresponds to reality. I think that needs to be pointed out, and therefore truth does not yield, as I said, to the size of the latest lobby group, nor is truth a mere matter of preference or opinion. Rather, truth is true even if everyone denies it, and a lie is a lie even if everyone affirms it. And you can point that out in a lot of common sense ways. 2 + 2 = 4. That's truth. If you say 2 + 2 = 5, or whatever you feel it equals, then you have chaos in mathematics. And that is the exact same thing that happens in culture. If you get rid of enduring truths, you cannot even live life in an acceptable fashion. If you say it's too narrow for a pilot to land his airplane on an airstrip that's designated, say, just land it wherever you want. Well, I mean, obviously you have chaos, and this is how we're trying to play fast and loose with truth in the culture. It is devastating to our own lives, but it's also devastating to civilization. If we make marriage a matter of preference as opposed to adhering to some absolute truth that has guided civilizations, we end up with chaos. And chaos for the most vulnerable among us. I mean, think about kids. We know sociologically, not spiritually alone, but sociologically, that kids are best served by gender-differentiated parenting. So you eliminate that, you put kids in harm's way. And so we have to take seriously truth. And where do you get truth? Well, we can establish the Bible as being an objective frame of reference. How? Because you can test it, just like you can test a scientific paradigm. You can test it to see if it holds up under scrutiny. Now, in the case of the Bible, you look at historical evidences. You look at the manuscript evidence. You look at archaeology. Do the people, the places, and the persons correspond to reality? You look at prophecies made in the Bible and see if they were fulfilled as prophesied. Biblical prophecies have their fulfillment in Scripture. So, for example, you can look at Daniel, who is prophesying 6 centuries before the birth of Jesus Christ and gives an unfolding of nations. Well, did it happen as he prophesied, or didn't it? He wasn't writing in the 2nd century, he was writing in the 6th century. And yet he's telling us about exactly what would take place prophetically in the 2nd century. So now we have a way of figuring out, did it happen as he said, or did it not? So you can test the Bible to see if it is an objective framework of reference that we can adhere to with confidence. You got the same issue with the Quran. Does the Quran correspond to reality? Is it a safe haven for truth? And what you find when you look at it critically is that it is replete with not only factual errors, but replete with faulty ethics. You don't find that in Scripture. So truth makes all the difference in the world. Of course, what is truth? The very question that Pontius Pilate asked Jesus. In the irony of the ages, he was standing toe-to-toe with the personification of truth, and yet he missed its reality. And I think postmodern people are in much the same position. They stare at truth, but they fail to recognize its identity. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Bible Answer Man broadcast. We do what we do because life and truth really do matter.